So what would you say, Nigel? The building owner, he employs a consultant who he considers to be, a professional. He employs a contractor, again, he considers to be professional. Why should he come to a company like yours as an independent company? What sort of value do you add as a?
I think it keeps everybody honest. It just makes it very clear that with somebody else because the contractor and the consultant are there, they've been employed by the owner, the client, but at the end of the day, having that third person, a technical person on the client side, purely for the client, will argue the points that will always be brought up, or argue them for the client. Whereas if you're as a client, you've only got your own knowledge, and maybe your knowledge is not as a building buildings. Your knowledge is in selling whatever product that has got you into that position, and therefore having somebody on your side purely who focuses on construction quality gives you the opportunity to ask the questions that you wouldn't have known to ask.
This role doesn't have to be a full-time role. It doesn't have to be an expensive role. So, for example, it can be an auditing role at certain points of the project. So what we call a peer review. Yeah. So, for example, when the design is complete, we can offer an independent analysis of that design. Yeah. We can look at, for example, let's say the kitchen equipment. Yeah. We can, give advice as to, is this the most durable equipment? Because let's be honest, some people maybe will specify certain things from certain people for certain reasons. Yeah. So we can look at that. We can advise in terms of energy efficiency. Should you be buying this one instead of that one? What is going to be the problem? Has it been sized correctly? All of these type of issues, and that applies to everything in the construction supply chain. So I think there's definite value can be added at design stage, and then subsequently at construction stage in terms of the workmanship quality, in terms of material quality. We even see projects when it's completely finished and we ask the client's not happy with something, let's say cladding, let's say stone, whatever, and I asked them, where's the control sample that you signed off? Well, I don't know what control, maybe we did, maybe we didn't, not too sure. But the point is, how can you then go back and argue against what you got when you didn't establish a benchmark to start with? Yeah. And that applies to everything, be it painting, be it flooring, be it cladding, be it glazing, everything. So this is another mistake actually that is made very often, where there is no proper control process in place.
So, and is it fair to say is that perhaps the consultant doesn't have the knowledge of maintenance and in use, because the consultant should really be able to think of these things? But
I think it's a little bit unfair to pin that on a design consultant. Yes, they should, after many, many years of experience. But very often, these type of clients are hiring small-time, new startups, freelancers, this type of, whose role they move from project to project, and all they do is design. But they don't get involved in the supervision, the defects liability, and the long-term maintenance. So it's not really fair to blame that particular type of consultant for these type of issues. Yes, again, they should have knowledge, but I think really it's up to people with more experience to educate them, to help the learning process.
And is this a benefit you feel in terms of an enhanced quality for the client, or is he actually saving money by using this type of service?
Definitely both. It may not look like it's saving money initially, but without a doubt, over a building's life cycle here, that could be 40, 50 years or whatever, there could be significant savings. If they're looking at they'll be keeping that building, renting out the spaces within it, whatever. By reducing the cost of maintenance, maintaining that building, the quality of the installation will bring all of those costs down significantly over the life cycle. Is a huge saving, massive monetary gain on their part against a very small outlay initially.
What's interesting is when you buy a new car, you get a service package with it now, which is, let's say, 100,000 kilometers or 5 years or whatever it is. And that's a kind of standard quality service that you expect when you spend 200, 300,000 dirhams on a car. You expect that to be built in. But when you're building a building of 100 million dirhams or 1 billion dirhams, that same proactive maintenance is not, and preventative maintenance is not naturally there. You get 1 year DLP, 1 year maintenance, and then after that things slip. And we even see it also where we have clients who, after 1.5 years, they have problems with humidity or whatever in their building, and you ask them, okay, but where's the maintenance records? Well, we kind of fell out with the contractor, and we didn't want to bring in a third-party maintenance, and we didn't do any maintenance, in other words, And this is the law. When we go to buildings, we see the HVAC units covered in pigeons' nests, and it's a mess. And really, unless building owners start to employ the same type of principles as they do when they buy their car, buildings are always going to have problems.